The Warlord figure came with one accessory, his sword, and although his cape and winglets on his helmet are often missing, they are not intended to be removed. His sword came with three other Remco figures from the Warrior Beast line: the Wolf Warrior, Zardos, and the European version of Ramar that came in the Beast Team set. His cape should have a small piece of black thread near the center of his neck that gives it the appearance of being drawn together. The bird on the top center of his helmet should be a copper color, but it is often a tarnished green color or completely worn off. If you have a Warlord figure missing his cape and want to replace it with a reproduction or original, be forewarned that his head will have to be removed to put the cape on. This is possible, but can damage his head. Best to warm the head in hot water before attempting removal or replacement. His winglets were originally glued on and are easily replaced as long as the studs that go into the head are still present on the winglets. Unlike the Masters of the Universe figures' legs that are held on by a piece of rubber, these figures use ball joints, and although they won't deteriorate over time, they are prone to breakage. Carded versions are rather common and can be found on eBay at most times. The Machiste figure came with four accessories: a knife, axe, gold sash, and a yellow belt. His knife came with four other Remco figures: Arak from the same Lost World of the Warlord line, Hydras and Skullman versions 1 and 2 from the Warrior Beast line, and the Warrior Conan from the Conan line. His axe came with five other Remco figures: Craven, Gecko version 2, Snake Man, and Hydras, all from the Warrior Beast line, and Arak, Son of Thunder. The gold sash is thicker and more durable than most Remco vinyl, but it is still commonly ripped or completely missing. If the yellow belt is still on the figure, it is usually undamaged. Machiste's head was reused on the referee Curly Brown in the AWA All-Star Wrestling line. This figure's molded brown colored arms and legs seem to discolor more often than the figures with the lighter skin tones. Carded versions are less common, but do come up on eBay at times. The Deimos figure came with three accessories: his crystal ball, his black robe, and his silver mesh belt. These accessories were all unique to him and shared with no other Remco figures. The robe is commonly missing or damaged, as it is made of a thin vinyl that is easily torn. The most common area that is damaged or completely missing are the two epaulets that hang off each shoulder. The belt is a mesh material that is commonly missing, or if still on the figure, is often heavily frayed. Carded versions are rather common, and can be found on eBay at most times. There are two versions of Mikola. Both versions come with four accessories: a staff, bow, robe, and a red belt. His staff came with three other Remco figures: Hercules from the same Lost World of the Warlord line, Gecko version 1, and Stegos, both from the Warrior's Beast line. His bow came with one other Remco figure, Skullman, versions 1 and 2, also from the Warrior Beast line. Mikola's robe and red belt are unique to him, but are commonly missing. If still on the figure, they are usually undamaged. The only difference between the first and second versions is his hair. The more common one is painted black with a white stripe. The less common is a solid brown, as seen here. Mikola's head was reused on the referee Nasty Ned from the AWA All-Stars Wrestling line. His hair was brown like the variant version, but his fangs were not painted, and his lips and the inside of his mouth are painted red. Carded versions are less common, but do come up on eBay at times. There are two versions of Arak. The first version came with three accessories: a knife, axe, and a loincloth, although his loincloth was not intended to be removed. His knife came with four other Remco figures: Machiste from the same Lost World of the Warlord line, Hydras, and Skullman version 1 and 2 from the Warrior Beast line, and the Warrior Conan from the Conan line. His axe came with 5 other Remco figures: Craven, Gecko version 2, Snake Man, and Hydras, all from the Warrior Beast line, and also Machiste. Arac's loincloth is most often missing or damaged. There should be 5 fringes on the front, and a square piece on the back with 2 slits to hold his knife. This version also has painted white bracelets with red markings. The second version of Arak has the same knife and axe, and instead of a loincloth, he has a suede-like vest. This version also differs in the fact his bracelets are painted a mustard yellow color, as opposed to the white and red of version 1. Carded versions are less common, especially the vest version, but do come up on eBay at times. The Hercules figure came with 2 accessories: his staff and a gold rope. His staff came with 3 other Remco figures: Mikola, from the same Lost World of the Warlord line, Gecko version 1, which was also the only other figure to share his gold rope, and Stegos, both from the Warrior Beast line. His gold rope came tied in 2 different configurations: the single from one shoulder to his waist, and in a double X pattern across the center of his chest. There is a variation on the paint on his bracelets. The most common is red and yellow, and the less common is red and dark red, but both versions are in the same pattern. Carded versions are rather common, and can be found on eBay at most times. Remco released at least 6 Warteam packs. Each pack came with a Mighty Stallion, a Warman with accessory, and a thin cardboard scenery cutout. The Warman was one of the 6 action figures from the Lost World of the Warlord line, although the figures did not come with all the accessories that were included with the carded versions. It appears that most figures came with either a staff, bow, or black sword. All of the horses came with a champron with reins, one of at least 3 different colored saddle blankets, and a rope. There were at least 3 different colors of horses: white, brown, and dark brown, and at least 5 different horse color and saddle blanket combinations. In doing research for this guide, I found examples of many different figure, stallion, and accessory combinations. Deimos seems to have the most variations, with at least 2, if not 3 different horses, and what appears to be 2 different capes. He also came with the same crystal ball that was included with his carded version, and an extra accessory. The only figure variant that I have found is this Hercules head on a Mikola body. When I purchased this figure, I thought someone had just done a head swap, although the seller claimed it was a Warteam variant. In researching this video, I found this one pixelated picture from an old eBay auction that seems to show this figure in a Warteam set. If you have any further information about this figure, please leave it in the comments below.